Welcome to drillingcontractor.org. This is Kelly Ainsworth reporting from the 2017 SPE IADC Drilling Conference in The Hague, the Netherlands. This year's conference included a special session focused on closing the gender gap in the oil and gas industry. One of the speakers from the session, Katie Maynard, founder and CEO of Pink Petro, has joined us to talk more about this important issue. Welcome, Katie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Why do you think the gender balance in the oil and gas industry hasn't shifted very much over the past decade? And what are some of the barriers for women to either enter or advance in this industry?
Well, really, no industry has advanced. I think that we're seeing a social shift happen all over the world in industries outside of our industry, but also within our industry. I think people and companies and organizations are starting to see, hey, there's a real value in having women, right, in senior positions and having more women in industry. So I think we're going to start to see, though, a shift because of that kind of pressure. But you asked about barriers. I think the barriers to enter, quite simply, is I don't think we do a good enough job of selling the industry. We're very media shy, so we have a hard time talking about ourselves. And that really kind of paints a picture against other industries. So if you look at Nike, right, shoes, who makes that stuff, right? You look at iPhones, Apple, Wall Street. I mean, our industry powers these industries, but we do a very poor job at showing what value we bring and the meaning. So I do think that that's a barrier for women, to wanting to get into the industry.
Why should companies care about the gender gap, and what's in it for them?
So over 50% of the workforce is female. Women control trillions of dollars in spend, and direct spend and indirect spend. So there's a huge benefit for companies to want to be, in it. I think the thing that companies need to keep in mind is that shareholders, people, boards, people in the industry, like I said, organizations, corporations aren't going to stand for not including more than half the population, right? So there's a huge what's in it for them.
What are some of the biggest challenges that women still face in the oil and gas industry?
Well, I think there's twofold. The first is cultural. We don't do a very good job, again, at explaining the options for women to enter in the industry. And I think that's why we need to do a better job at communicating, marketing to women, right? Women are, well, you're a woman, I'm a woman, right? We like to kind of be sold to, right? And so I do believe there's a communication effort that needs to happen. And that's why I put Pink Petro together and put a new career site out last week called Experience Energy that's solely focused on showing and demonstrating what women are capable of doing in the industry. So they see those role models and they want to be interested in joining.
For companies that want to close the gender gap in their workforce, what are some practical steps that they could take?
Well, the first thing they can do is ask their own workforce what they need. I think oftentimes we think that the answer is outside when really the answer is inside the workforce. And being really open to hearing that feedback, because when we hear what we need, then we can only address how we can take steps forward. Companies are all in different places, I think, on this matter. So I think it's important to independently assess where the organization is and then take steps to move forward.
Thank you for joining us today, Katie, and talking about such an important issue with us.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful. I'm so glad we're talking about it.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.